Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Radio Justice Tamale, Radio Kwando, Fafa Radio Juje, and Jata FM Karaga. We're live on Twitter Spaces, Facebook live stream, and My Joy online interactive app. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. And Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. Coming up, kidney patients believe Kolebu Hospital has signed their death warrants as they call on government to intervene in the over 100% increment in dialysis cost.
Did we call for this sickness for us? So why is Kolebu doing this to us?
I don't have anybody on because I live in a village. We don't have any job here. You all die.
But Kolebu Teaching Hospital says it has no choice in the matter. Otherwise, it will be forced to shut down the dialysis center.
By now, we have had to pay for everything ourselves, and all those things are factored into it. We need to get tax exemptions when we are clearing these items. By now, you have to pay for the import duty and other taxes.
We'll also be live at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital on the situation there, plus how you can keep your kidneys healthy.
If you are not drinking enough water, you are dehydrated. Once you are dehydrated, you don't have enough blood perfusing the kidneys per minute. And during that period, you can develop some form of kidney failure.
Also, over 1,400 deaths and over 11,000 injured in road crashes in the last 8 months.
This year, it went down to 1,433. We have the percentage decrease is 11.27%.
Plus, stranded commuters on the Solar Bamboy Highway risk their lives crossing with canoes despite the roads minister's pledge for temporal bypass within a week.
So you can pass on some rocks and cross over to the other side of Pole. But realize that that place is another dangerous place.
Within a week, and I want to make that promise. So watch my lips. I'm saying within a week.
Also, former Chief of Staff and NPP veteran Kwejo Mpiani supports Alan Tremantin's allegation of party hijacking, revealing insights on President Akufo-Addo's influence.
The party has become some sort of a club for a few people within the party. As soon as the party removes these people, they give the party to one man who was the candidate at that time and who is the president at this time.
In sports,
Ghana's Black Queens are among the best 5 teams in Africa, claims head coach Nora Haptel.
And later, Ghana Airport Company fined 200,000 cedis by the Right to Information Commission for failure to provide Joy News with information on the Frontiers contract.
So we chronicled the behavior of Ghana Airport, and told them that your behavior gives a clear indication of your inertia, to give the information.
These are more coming up shortly. Please stay. In our first story, kidney patients are grappling with the alarming surge in the cost of dialysis at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. With over 100% increase, patients will now pay 765 cedis from 380 cedis per session. The abrupt increase has left some patients counting their days to their graves, as many of them are already struggling to afford the lifeline that keeps them going. According to them, many of their counterparts are already losing their lives due to their inability to cover costs. Let's take you back to the story of Deborah, who lost her job and marriage as a result of the disease. Over 5 years ago, Deborah developed eclampsia, a complicated condition developed during her pregnancy, characterized by high blood pressure. Protein also started seeping into her urine, signaling kidney damage. Deborah has since been on dialysis.
Personally, I have witnessed or seen as a particular man is late now. He did it for 15 years. That's the longest I've heard. Some get it less. Some even within 1 year of the condition, they are already gone. Some 2 years. So it depends on, I think, as and when God gives the grace.
She eventually lost a job and source of income because she couldn't work effectively. She has also lost her marriage and has very little support. Almost every week, she scrounges at least 800 cedis for her treatment.
A session like I'm doing today is 380 cedis, and that's the cheapest you can get. Kolebu is the cheapest so far. In case there are issues and we have to visit the private sector, we can pay as high as 550 for one session.
We can now listen to some patients who are contending how to survive now that the treatment cost is skyrocketing. They fear they may lose their lives.
Come and see my stomach. Come and see the way I am in. You won't believe it, because dialysis is supposed to be 3 times in a week. Because of money issue, you are thirsty, you can't drink. You are hungry, you can't eat because your tummy is bloated. What kind of situation do we call? Did we call for this sickness for ourselves? Why is Kolebu doing this to us? For them closing down, a lot of vibrant guys are dead. Like me, I can't pay. A lot of people there cannot pay.
Currently, I'm unemployed and I'm the only child of my mother. Since May that they closed down, it has been really tough and really hard to even raise this money to take my mom to a private institution. And if we manage to get private hospitals that are charging maybe 500 and 400, and we are still praying that the government Kolebu would open.
I do it once in 2 weeks. Now, it will not work. But I don't have anybody on, because I live in a village called Chibi. You know, the Eastern region. You don't have any job here. You all die.
The current economy is not even helping us. Some of us have families. Some of us have lost jobs. We are renting. We are paying bills. And you are not charging us 300 cedis for that. And this is the government sector. And we know with the Kolebu, you are not paying for the electricity or the water. So why should you be charging 700?
Well, Thomas Khan has been on dialysis treatment for the past 10 years and says some persons he used to see at the center of the Cape Coast Hospital have died after they couldn't afford treatment.
350. A lot of patients that I used to see at the dialysis, we are not seeing them again, because a lot of them have passed because they can't afford, they couldn't afford. And there are some who are at home and not coming for their sessions because they can't even afford just 100 cedi or 200 cedi, even for a week. If I should tell you the truth, this is a difficult moment for those of us living with terminal diseases. In fact, a very difficult one. Very difficult one.
While expensive dialysis treatment was highlighted at the just-ended Occupy Jolobi House demonstration, let's listen to an angry protester lament the loss of lives as a result.
It is afternoon. Thousands of young Ghanaians have partially shut down the capital after blocking the main road with their protest. The sun has now disappeared from the sky.
Well, we're sorry for that sound, but the Kolebu Teaching Hospital indicates there is little it can do about the situation. It claims it is forced to increase as a result of high taxes on consumables and import duties. Mustafa Salifu is public relations officer.
Some of the variables were actually being taken care of by the state. But now we have had to pay for everything ourselves, and all those things are factored into it. Now, we used to clear these items. We used to get tax exemptions when we are clearing these items. But now you have to pay for the import duty and other taxes that are related to it. If we still want to run as we used to do previously, it means, I say, my brother, in the next couple of weeks or several days down the line, we'll have to shut down the.
Meanwhile, the increase in cost may be replicated in other regional hospitals, citing increase in prices of consumables. Dr. Emmanuel Okeleji is physician specialist at the Bolgatanga Hospital.
For now, for the dialysis session alone, it costs about 400 cedi in Tamale. But I know for sure that it may not stay like that. Probably very soon, the prices may change because of the prices of consumables. The prices of the dialysis consumables have increased because of the current challenges we are facing, and I don't think if they still keep the 400, they may be able they may run into losses.
But management of Konfanochi Teaching Hospital is not in a hurry to increase the cost of dialysis treatment, despite the high cost of consumables. Ohiming Terry of our health desk has been making some checks and joins us on the line. Ohiming, what can you report?
Yes, Mamusi, I spoke to a management member who wants to remain anonymous, and according to him, management has yet to officially meet to discuss the fees and also increase the fees. He says that yes, consumables have gone up, the prices have increased. Most of these products are imported, but increasing the fees astronomically. Patient who access Konfanochi to go home and die is something that the facility will want to avoid. So yes, they are overstretched, but in the meantime, management will meet and take a decision on the issue.
Thank you very much, Ohiming Terry. But how can government intervene in the situation? Joining us on this is Ranking Member on Parliament Select Committee on Health, Kwabena Minta Akando. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News. How can your committee intervene in saving lives?
Yeah, we have spoken to the powers that be, the authorities, and we have given clear directives. And in the hours and days ahead, you see us doing more, but first and foremost, it must be put on record that any health facility, government health facility, public one of course, the main objective is not to make profit. The overriding factor should not be the profit making. It is to provide quality health care to the citizens of this country. And therefore, we are calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, to restore the tax exemptions on these reagents that has necessitated the astronomical increase in the cost of dialysis. It's quite unconscionable, highly unacceptable. We are talking about health care. We are talking about dialysis, something that you need not less than 2 or 3 times within a week. And you are moving the price from 380 Ghana cedi to 765. The government is so insensitive to the extent that now we are pushing people into the grave. How can we do this? How?
Honorable, this is Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Listen to me. Listen. In any case, it is, to start with, it is illegal because every public health facility, their fees and charges are regulated by what we call Fees and Charges Act. So your fees and charges must be approved by Parliament. You can't just sit in the hospitals and face fees or charges anyhow. And I am not aware from where I sit as a ranking member on the health committee. I am not aware and I don't know, and we have not done such a thing. We have not approved that 765 they want to charge. So please, in as much as I agree that there's high inflation, in as much as I agree the economic hardship going on, I think that citizens must not pay for the recklessness of government.
All right, Honorable, we're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. Kwabena Minta Akando is ranking member on Parliament Select Committee on Health. But what can you do to keep your kidneys healthy? Dr. Samuel Edu Ajin has more.
If someone is taking a lot of saturated fat, that can lead to hypertension. If we are not exercising, we are also at risk of developing hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. All of these things can affect the blood flow to the kidneys and then would result in a chronic kidney disease. How much water we even drink per day also affects it's our lifestyle, and that can also lead to kidney problems.
That means. And you heard Dr. Samuel Edu, a medical personnel at the Kolebu Renal Dialysis Center. So now you know what to do to keep your kidneys healthy. Moving on, at least 1,433 individuals have lost their lives in road accidents across the country from January to August this year. This represents an 11.27% decrease in the number of fatalities compared to the 1,615 deaths recorded during the same period last year. Additionally, over 10,000 individuals sustained injuries from road accidents. The National Road Safety Authority indicates a decline in these figures. However, it acknowledges that it has not yet met its target. Pearl Edusu is Public Relations Officer.
Work has started in earnest So within a week, and I want to make that promise. So watch my lips.
Let's stay a bit longer on roads because commuters on the Sola Bamboy Highway remain stranded despite the Minister for Roads and Highways' assurance of constructing a temporary bypass within a week to replace submerged sections of the highway. Heavy rainfall has served the Bole Bamboy Highway connection to the Upper West region, compelling commuters to rely on canoes for transportation. Now, some commuters resorting to a lengthy detour to reach their destination have been expressing their frustration. But before we listen to that, listen to the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amakwata, assuring that the bypass will be completed in a week.
Work has started in earnest. So within a week, and I want to make that promise. So watch my lips. I'm saying within a week, this road will be established temporarily for vehicles to pass. And then the next few weeks, permanent work will be done.
However, some commuters in the area have been expressing their frustration over the decision that it hasn't been done.
We use this route almost every day. So we think of it that if that be the case, it's good we'll go unprepared. One will just cross once. Then we'll stay for some days and solve our problems.
Okay. And from where the bridge got caving, there's a canoe they used to cross, but that's a bit dangerous because it's a very small canoe. So we decided to go far, about close to 1,000 meters from where the bridge caving, so you can pass on some rocks and cross over to the other side of Bole. But realize that place is another dangerous place. You have to go through some broken wood, falling trees, and then I think I can't risk my life like that.
And back to the capital, the Ghana Airport Company Limited has been slapped with a hefty fine of 200,000 cedis by the Right to Information Commission for failing to comply with directives to provide access to information to Joy News. Joy News' head of research, Raymond Akwa, who commenced this request for information, joins me in the studio with more. Raymond, what exactly did we request from the company?
So the exact contract between the Republic of Ghana, or any office agents, including the Ghana Airport Company, and the Frontiers Healthcare Services grouping that carried out the testing. We also wanted to know the processes that they went through and the reasons that they settled on in selecting Frontiers. The very last request was related to the amount of money generated in total, the amount that went to Frontiers, and the amount that went to the Republic of Ghana from the testing. So these are the three main categories that we resort to right now.
Right. So why did the Commission intervene and demand that we be supplied with the information in the first instance?
Because it was the view of the airport company that the information we are requesting for was exempt. Their argument was that Section 10 mandated them to not give us that information. Then we challenged that view and asked the Commission to order them to give it to us. The Commission agreed with us, dismissing their claim that this information was exempt, and then proceeded to ask them to give it to us in 1 week. Right. This was in February.
Right. And so what's the current situation now?
So we got to know that. Then later on, they were not giving us the information. So we alerted the Commission. They were then subsequently, as we know now, fined the 200,000. They wrote to the Commission saying that the fine should be waived.
Right.
And also that they should be given extra time and moment to actually work out and give us the information. Then the Commission told them that they will not waive the fine and that they have exactly 1 week to provide the information again.
Thank you very much, Raymond Akwa. Now, Stephen Owusu is Head of Legal Governance, Regulatory and Research at the RTI Commission. He tells Joy News the Commission is to ensure the airport company provide the information.
So far as the Commission is concerned, so far as the Right to Information law is concerned, okay, we have made the directive and you have to comply. We have nothing to do with the Minister for Transport. We do not take orders from the Minister for Transport. Okay, and then we reinforce our directive for the information to be given to the applicants. And they go back to us, one, asking for time within which to give the information to the applicant, and also asking for a waiver of the administrative penalty of 200,000 Ghana cedis we put on Ghana Airport Company. And we've responded, telling them that, one, your behavior, so we chronicled the behavior of Ghana Airport, okay, and told them that your behavior gives a clear indication of your inertia, okay, to give the information. So based on that, we cannot waive the administrative penalty.
You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come, we have sports, and also former Chief of Staff and NPP veteran Kwadwo Mpiani supports Alan Tremantin's allegation of party hijacking, revealing insights on President Akufo-Addo's influence.
The party has become some sort of a club for a few people within the party. If you as soon as the party removes these people, they gave the party to one man who was the candidate at that time and who is the president at this time.
But will Kwadwo Mpiani break ranks with the NPP and campaign for Alan Tremantin?
If I want to join, I'll find a way of getting the feelings of the Ghanaian people to decide whether it's worthwhile joining him or not.
But you haven't made a decision whether or not you will join if he asks you?
Not yet.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, no buff, no chop, where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Haja, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Thanks for staying with us. We have sports.
Yes, Black Queens head coach Nora Hopto has labelled her side as one of the best 5 teams in Africa following the big win over Rwanda. The team emerged 12-0 winners on aggregate and now face Namibia in November for a slot at the 2024 Women's AFCON. But before that, the Queens take on Benin next month in the second round of qualifiers for next year's Olympics.
Well, I think we are a top 10 or either a top 5 team in Africa ourselves, first of all. Of course, we observed the World Cup very well. In my observations, I think our squad is fully competitive on this highest level. And then, of course, it needs in this high-level game also always a good game plan. So we're always starting analyzing, of course, our future opponents. We know very well and follow them through every game. I'm very convinced that we are competitive, and then it's a bit the game day, which needs then a lot coming together, but I'm fully convinced we can make it to the WAFCON and also qualify for the Olympics.
That's Black Queens head coach Nora Hopto.
Thank you, Mubarak. Now, former Chief of Staff to President Akufo-Addo, President Kufuor, beg your pardon, and MPP stalwart Kwadwo Mpiani has backed assertions by Alan Tremantin that the new Patriotic Party has been hijacked by a select few. Mr. Tremantin cited this as part of the reasons for his resignation from the party and his decision to go independent. Speaking to Joy News, Kwadwo Mpiani, who is also a member of the NPP's Council of Elders, argued there is anger in the party that could cause an upheaval if the party does not address issues immediately. He also argued that the NPP had become a club for a few, with the party handed over to the current president, Akufo-Addo. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express.
You see, there have been problems with the party, except that those of us in the party are trying to behave like ostriches. The way the party is going, if we are not lucky, there's going to be a more serious upheaval in the future.
When you say all is not well, what is not well exactly?
The administration of the party, unfortunately, the party has become some sort of a club for a few people within the party.
So you agree with Alan when he says a few people have hijacked the party? You agree with him?
Well, to some extent, yes. You know, I think the party problem deepens the very day the party decided to sack its chairman and general secretary, which I believe was unconstitutional under our own party. You see, as soon as the party removed these people, they gave the party to one man who was the candidate at that time and who is the president at this time.
So will Kwadwampianin join Alan to campaign when he is invited, especially after the party's threat to expel members who follow Alan?
Before this incident, this Alan, there are a lot of people have come to me expressing views about what is happening in this party, or we believe there must be a break. Otherwise, it's not going to be well for the party. So who knows? It's very possible that a lot of people may join him.
But Kwadwampianin is not joining him, is he?
I don't know. I haven't made that decision yet.
You're not sure whether or not you stay with the MPP?
I'm an MPP man, pure and pure. And I'm just say, am I going to join him? And I said, I don't know how to speak.
While another member of the NPP, who is also a political scientist, Dr. Amwakumba, says President Akufo-Addo is presiding over a party of indiscipline. He said the president has wrecked the country and was imposing Dr. Bawumia on the party and the country to cover his tracks. He also accused national organizer of the NPP, Henry Nana Boakye, of being part of party officials who are misbehaving.
Nana B is one of those in that camp who misbehave in the party. The young party official.
Dr. Makuba, I would like for us to be decorous towards the other guests. When you say
please, I'm speaking the truth. Let me give you.
But even if you did, you can provide the evidence and we'll question that. But to say he's misbehaving, it's over the top.
Why he has apologized? Do you apologize when you've done right? Tell me, what do you apologize for? When you've done something wrong, that's when you apologize. Founding member is speaking.
The point I'm making is
now that somebody else is coming. What is it? It's a PNU was charitable. It is the president who is in charge, and all the young people are behind him misbehaving. That's what I call it.
Dr. Amwakumba is political scientist and also a member of the NPP. Now moving on, chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, says its robust challenge system will read the voters' roll minors who register in the ongoing limited registration exercise. Speaking to Joy News, the EC chairperson alleged that minors are being bussed in droves to register contrary to the Ghanaian law. She, however, expressed confidence in the challenge system to get such ineligible voters out of the register.
However, we've received a few, we've received information of some incidents of having minors attempt to register. The good news is that we have what we call the challenge forms, and anybody who is a registered voter can challenge anybody who is considered to be a minor, and I believe that citizens are taking advantage of that. On a daily basis, we receive the statistics coming from the district offices, and then you see the number of challenged, cases as well, challenged persons as well. So we believe that at the end of the process, when we set up the district registration review committees, those who have been challenged would have an opportunity to a hearing. And if they provide enough evidence to show that they are Ghanaians and they are 18, then, and they reside in the district where they registered, then they would get on the roll.
Jean Mensah is EC chairperson, and as the National Science and Maths Quiz marks its milestone of 30 years, the competition has extended a special pass to 7 private schools, giving them the chance to shine on this grand stage. Among the early contenders in the preliminary rounds are prestigious institutions like Wesley Girls Senior High School and St. Peter's Senior High School. Get ready for an electrifying showdown as these schools vie for the supremacy in the 2023 National Science and Maths Quiz. Michael Ashali has more on this report.
The concept of the contest started in 1993 after the founder of Primetime noticed how a bird perched on an electric wire without getting electrocuted. One question led to another, and soon after, there were more answers than questions.
Presby boys.
1.
Simple.
After 30 years, the NSMQ remains arguably the biggest event on the educational calendar, and this year, it's back bigger and better than ever. To commemorate their 30th anniversary, Primetime Limited is introducing a number of innovative measures, including but not limited to the inclusion of some private schools to feature in the competition. Nana Ekia Mensah-Bonsu is MD of Primetime Limited.
So the unseeded regional champions are getting a wild card entry into the 1/8. We also have 7 private schools joining in.
117 schools will face each other in 39 contests at the preliminary stage.
And that's it for the bulletin. In our top story, kidney patients believe Kolebu Teaching Hospital has signed their death warrants as they call on government to intervene in the over 100% increment in dialysis costs. The midday news is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Duroplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. Where Duroplus goes, water flows. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Living Word is up next.